Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain about Formwork, which is comes under Project Management Unit 1 syllabus. So first of all, what is meant by Formwork? Formwork is one type of temporary mold which is used for the pouring of concrete to cast in different shapes. The formwork are made up of different material like steel, wood, aluminium, plastic, so etc. So generally, once the concrete has gained sufficient strength, the formwork is removed for reuse purpose. The construction of the formwork takes time to involve expenditure up to 20 to 25 percentage of the total budget of the project. The design of these temporary structures are made up of economic expenditure. And what is the importance of the formwork in the construction site? The formwork mainly associated with the concrete. It helps the production or producing smooth finishing surface of the concrete surface. So no doubt of the formwork is essential for the any concrete structures can be constructed quickly and the most of the affordable way. The formwork helps in lowers the timeline and costs of the project by lowering of the floor to floor construction of the building. So that the economical conditions also may be applied for the using of the formwork in the construction site. So the important topic in the formwork is the good requirements of the good formwork. The good formwork must be having or must be fulfill these requirements. It must be capable to withstand all types of the dead load and live load, and it is practically good to have waterproof for the waterproof character so that it absorb the water. It may not be absorb the water from the concrete surface. So entire formwork should be rigidly constructed and proper so that there should be no deformation in the shape or retain its original shape. So the formwork must be should be should not be deflection and shrinkage should be also minimum. The joints should be tight enough to minimize the leakage of the coming from the concrete surface. The formwork should be constructed with the different segments so that what will happen if we construct with the different segments, the erection, so the removal of the formwork will be easy. The material of the formwork should be cheap, easily available, and should be suitable for the reuse. The formwork should be set accurately to desired line and levels should have plain surface. So it also light in weight, as light as possible weight, so that the transformation or the transportation will be also easy. The material of the formwork should not warp or get distorted when exposed to the element. These are the good requirements for the maintaining of the good formwork. When coming to the types of the formwork, it is basically two types of the formworks will be available based on the material, based on the structural member. So whereas going for the using of the timber material for the manufacturing of the formwork, that should be called as a timber formwork. Whereas instead of timber, we are going to be use the plywood for the manufacturing of the formwork, that should be called as a plywood formwork. Whereas instead of plywood or timber, the steel material we are going to be used for the manufacturing of the formwork elements, that should be called as a steel formwork. Aluminium formwork, plastic formwork, fabric formwork. These are the formwork types based on the material, and coming to the based on the structural member. Wherever we are going to be used in structural members like foundation, column, beam, slab, wall. So various structures we are going to be using the formwork. That is the way we are allocating formwork for the foundation. That should be called as the foundation formwork. If you go for the allocating for the column formwork. If you go for the allocating for the beam formwork. If you go for the allocating for the slab formwork, like that wall formwork will be also there. These are the main types of the formwork which are available in the market. While coming to the timber formwork, the timber formwork is one type of the formwork which is basically manufacturing with the timber material we are going to be use. So the specialty or the accurate member we are going to be used, that is lightweight in and well seasoned timber and free from the termite attacks and easily workable, so that the timber formwork will be having the number of advantages while going to be used in the market construction site, sorry. So coming to the advantages, the advantage of the timber formwork, it will be having desired shape and desired size comfortably we can make, and light in weight timber is suitable for the formwork, and it can be easily handled also. So it should be it will be provide a good thermal resistance to prevent the concrete from the being damaged, and construction is also easy when timber formwork is used. Likewise, the advantages of the formwork, timber formwork will be having. Then, what are the disadvantages of the timber formwork? Sometimes, if the timber formwork maybe, if we go for the over drying process, now the concrete will be releases some amount of water, it will be absorbs. That is a major drawback of the timber formwork, which is used for the concrete casting. So, timber formwork only for the usage of the 6 to 7 times of the reusable purpose, that is also a drawback. And sometimes if the timber contains more water content than the required the wet concrete, so that the timber formwork will be shrinks, and it will be leads to the leakage of the concrete while placing of the concrete on the timber formwork. The different drawbacks will be having for the timber formwork. Then coming to the plywood formwork is the material of the plywood which is extracted from the timber. The plywood is an artificial manufactured wood material available in the different thickness, different sizes, different shapes of the formwork, and it is strong enough, durable, and light in weight. The main advantage of the this type of formwork is it will be gives a good smooth cement surface or concrete surface while casting the concrete. That is the main advantage of the plywood formwork. So then coming to the what are the disadvantages of the plywood formwork? The main disadvantage of the plywood formwork is it is limited durability, susceptible to water damage, and higher maintenance requirements will be having, and reusability also, low reusable purpose, because it is a timber material may be destroyed in 6 or 7 times it will be uses, and surface deformation will be also having. And the final one is the lack of fire resistance, it may not be resist to the fire. Whenever the fire will be happens in the construction, it may not be resist. Then the main important formwork that is very well using in the market, that is steel formwork. The steel formwork is becoming popular, and it will give us longer life, longer duration time, and many times we may use this. And steel formwork is costlier, but large number of projects will be use this type of steel formwork. Wherever we are going to be constructing of the walls or columns or slabs or beams, we are going to be use this type of steel formwork. The main advantage of the steel formwork is it is having strong and durable, and it will give us more lifespan. And one more advantage is which is cost effective for the large scale projects. It will be gives a most economical uh, way in the construction of the projects. So steel panel formwork does not pose any unnecessary problems to the concrete, like leakages. It will be rectified, like waterproof. It will be rectified. So that the steel formwork will be very useful in the construction. So coming to the disadvantages, the steel will be having a high initial cost. Initially, it will be more cost because the steel, in the sense, it is very costlier material than the timber or else plywood material. That is the main drawback of the steel formwork. Then coming to the aluminum, which is made up of with aluminum material. The formwork basically manufactured with aluminum material, and it will be having lighter than the steel, because aluminum material which is having low density, that is the way the steel which is having higher weight than the aluminum formwork. So aluminum formwork which is having low or lighter weight అనేది కాదు. So like the shuttering is most economical, large number of repeating usage of in the construction. And the drawback of the aluminum formwork is so here the aluminum formwork drawback is the main important drawback of the aluminum formwork is whenever we cast the formwork at the construction site, the bolts or the holes of the aluminum formwork that will be loosened because of number of reusable. So that the aluminum formwork will be gives leakage to the concrete while pouring into the formwork. So that is the main disadvantage of the aluminum formwork. And coming to the plastic in the sense, so it will use light in weight, and it will be possess interlocking mechanism, and it could be uses for the multiple times. And the plastic shuttering is mostly useful wherever the similar construction shapes structures are required, so that the plastic formwork will be useful while constructing of the normal buildings, or constructing of the temporary buildings, temporary shelters, so that the plastic formwork will be very useful for the casting of the walls and casting of the structural vertical structural members. So the plastic formwork will be very useful. Whereas in the advantages, the lightweight of the plastic, it will be gives easy handling because of lightweight, and it will gives duration time will be more when compared to other material. Reusability also will be there, and uniform finishing will be comes by completion of the concrete casting, and the water weather resistance will be having, and low maintenance cost will be, and resistance to the chemicals, because it will be comes from the chemical reactions only. That is the way the plastic will be gives more resistive to the chemical reactions. Then coming to the disadvantages, it will give high initial cost, because initially the plastic cost will be high, and limited load bearing capacity, because the plastic will be having low density, that is the way limited load bearing capacity will be having, and brittleness in cold weathers, and repair challenges will be there. And finally environmental concern, because of the degradation of the plastic, the environment will be get polluted because of plastic material. The plastic will not be destroyed or disruption, it will be take around 5 to 600 years of the time for the destruction of the or destroying of the plastic material. While the plastic material will be wasted, that waste material will not be destroyed or decomposed easily, and it will be takes 5 to 600 years of the time. That is the main drawback of the plastic material wherever we are going to be used. Not only in the farm work, we are going to be used for the different kind of the works. So the plastic will be having so the number of drawbacks. And finally the fabric formwork, which is the fabric material in the sense the material which is extracted from the geosynthetic geosynthetic material, geosynthetics ovens, the material which is extracted from the geosynthetics. So the geosynthetics material which is useful for the making of the different shapes and different sizes of the walls, and not only in the sharp edges which will be gives irregular shapes of the walls, or irregular shapes of the columns, irregular shapes of the different kinds of the structures in the construction field. So that is the main advantage of the fabric formwork. It will be gives different and undulating structure for the construction field. Irregular shaped members will becomes, and usage of the fabric formwork provide an opportunity for the construction of the efficient and architectural marvel structural members of the any shape or any sizes or any kind of the structure will be constructed. Here the material will be geotextile fabrics we are going to be used. So the main advantage of the fabric formwork is lightweight and portable material, and we can customizable different shapes and different sizes, and improved concrete strength and cost efficiency, and environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, and easy of handling, and improve for the surface finishing process, and thermal and crack resistance will be also there. So that the advantages will be having number of, and disadvantages limited durability will be there, susceptibility to tearing, and low limitations, specialized experts required, and higher initial setup cost will be there. Skilled persons will be required for the setting, and weather sensitivity will be there, and limited reusability also there, because the textile material will be destroyed in different usages, and structural precision challenges will be there. So that the number of disadvantages will be also having for the fabric formwork. And coming to the different structural members, wherever we are going to be used for the formwork, we are calling foundation formwork, or else we go for the usage of the column formwork. While seeing the diagram, the column will be casting using of the column formwork, and we are going to be use of the formwork for the beam casting. So that is the calling of the beam formwork. And wherever we go for the usage of the slab casting or slab construction, so that is called as a slab formwork. So by this way, different works or different construction or different structural members or different activities, so we are going to be involving the different formwork material. So whereas the wall formwork, so wall construction, we are going to be use the wall formwork, so that the number of types, number of we are seeing the number of types of the formwork, like material, based on the material we have seen, and based on the structural members. So these formworks are very important while the writing of the examination. We should be remember all those things by writing of the, or while writing of the examination. Thank you very much. If you having any doubts, you can post the comments, or you can ask directly in the classroom. Thank you very much.